of the night, not the most pleasant of sight. If alone, gaze into the darkness, I will be there representing blood's kiss. Creature of the night, don't mean to bring you fright. I'm a creature of the night, not the most pleasant of sight. If alone, gaze into the darkness, I will be there representing blood's kiss. Whoa. Hello, creatures of the night here. How's everyone doing? Let me check here on what playback sounds like in just a second, because it's been a minute since I used it from this setting. Let me see here. Refresh. How's everyone doing? Okay, sounds good. Cool. All right. So, yeah, joined here, of course, we have Sasha joining as well.
Heyo.
So, hopefully everyone's doing okay there. I'll have to see if this chat thing works. It says for some reason need to log in for it, which I'm logged in.
I'm pulling it up right now.
I was going to say keep an eye on it just in case for some reason someone does say something in the chat and I can't see it. I don't know why that's doing that. Anyway, hopefully everyone's doing okay. This will be a short Creatures of the Night one, our second to last of the year for 2023. I believe next Friday is the last one. And then from there, we'll go into the discussion about the future of Creatures of the Night. Weekly seems a bit much right now, and I'm going to be needing switch gears, especially for going into Paranormal Endeavors Chapter 9 and getting that stuff edited and going through an evidence review and all that. So, be one less thing off my plate of trimming back on this. So, we'll go into that a little bit more next week. This week, and again, before anyone asks, I know those trickle in later, they'll ask anyway, probably, but yeah, Zach's still on the road. He plans to come back. He might be here in person for Creatures next week. I don't know. It's hard to tell with him. Sometimes it might be this, sometimes it might be that, and then next hour it changes. So, that was the last I knew. That was his plan, was to come back for like the New Year's time, just for a day or two before he starts his next several month away outing on the road. So, might see him in person join us. Other than that, a few things to discuss tonight. So again, kind of go out of order here, I guess, a little bit. But I know it was just a few days ago, but happy National Emo Day to those. You might have seen that we did a vlog, which we hadn't done one since the big concert vlog. I do see Lupita.
I'm meaning to make one. I just haven't had time.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can definitely do one if you want. Evening creatures, hello there. You joined us, you caught us pretty much at the beginning. So we did that little video there, which I don't know that I necessarily need to play on this stream. It's on this channel, so you can see it. It's again, Happy National Emo Day. I know that some people didn't even know that was a thing, including another person on the screen.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So I educated Sasha on that, and so she had her first.
It was a mark against my emo-ness.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So it was her first celebration of it here together. So again, popping cherries. That's what I'm about. So it's a nice little video. It's short, about 8 minutes or 9 minutes or something like that. But check that out. Kind of gives a little summary on what's it mean to be an emo from our takes on it, but then also kind of the origins of emo, and that it
Now,
is.
mind you, he sprung this on me like literally about 2 hours before I had to leave for work.
Yeah, well, you know,
He's like, hey, by the way, we're gonna do this. I'm
you
like,
never know
okay.
what's gonna happen here. So,
Uh,
um,
yeah.
so that's our last.
Always be prepared for vlog.
Right. So that's our last little video that we have on this channel. So check that out if you haven't seen it yet. Maybe you'll learn something too about that. As I know, my biggest thing with it, which I know it's changed a little bit with time, but I know it really comes out of a music culture. That's really where all the emo comes from on it. And I know there's a revival right now of it, which is great. You know, we call it the Roaring Twenties, which is nice. You know, and fun and all. And there's a little bit of even like Emo's Not Dead merch and stuff. And then When We Were Young festival, things like that. They're knowledgeable enough to know when to market and make money off of nostalgia.
Nostalgia.
And it is one of those things, whether it dates us or not, being elder emos, it's kind of like, oh, now we're suddenly a form of a classic. And now we're going back to early
Or
2000s.
as one of his paranormal teammates calls it, being Elmo.
Oh, gosh. Yes, you'll see that in the bloopers probably if I don't include it in the final edit. But yes, we'll get into the investigation thing in a little bit. But yeah, so it's really one of those things. I met a lot of people along the way, and this happens with every little subculture too, that there's a fascination, just kind of infatuation with the style and the look of it. Like there has been, I've met a few, don't mean to be a gatekeeper, but there's several that I would deem posers that get into different areas or cultures of different things just because they think it looks cool or it looks cute. Um, I get that. At the same time, then the question kind of comes out: is like, are you being true to who you really are? You know, or some of us, it's who we are, but it has moments where it's like it's not proud of it. Sometimes there's moments where it's such a kind of a dark place where some of that comes from. You got to remember, a lot of us, not all of us, have had self-harm, have had different things like that, and misunderstood misfits. And so it's important to know that and kind of keep away from calling everything emo. It's been thrown around like it's an adjective, just loosely. It's like, oh, that's emo. Oh, that's emo. Very much like urban explorers are kind of like, oh, that's old. No shit, Shirley. So that's kind of my thing. It's kind of come
Especially
off
with things
cringe
that are
with all
like,
these years. I've noticed it's come like people just throwing around, oh, that's emo, that's emo. It's like, okay, let's tone that down a little bit. Go ahead, Sash.
I was gonna say, especially for things that are like from the previous year, that is so old. Why? No,
Right.
no.
So there's that. That's my take on it. But check out that video. It's on there. Oh, Kai 11, there you are. I was just talking about how next week's Creatures of the Night Live will be the last one of the year. And depending on what your plans are, you might be able to make that one in person if you're coming back Friday. Not sure what you're doing, but so that's that. And then next, she kind of alluded at we had our investigation. I know Lupita, I posted it the Monday before last Friday. I know apparently not everyone saw that, so apologize. But yes, it was a planned thing. Everyone was okay. It was a planned thing not to have a live stream last Friday. And A, because we didn't really have anything to talk about. And B, we had preparing for investigation weekend, which took more of a priority. So we didn't do Creatures of the Night last week. So that's all to it. That's all it was. Investigation, like I said, still open investigation right now because we have evidence review to do and all that stuff. So can't go into specifics like, ooh, what happened or anything like that, activity wise, at least. But I would say it was a good case overall. It's kind of our extended paranormal family version of the holiday get together. We always like sometimes having a holiday, if there's investigation near a holiday, whether it be Halloween or I guess Christmas. This was kind of our uh, extended non-biological family get together. So it was a fun time. We had a good turnout. A big chunk of the team, minus I think it was only David and Zach that didn't go. So I just worried because you've been so consistent. I don't remember the last time you missed Creatures of the Night, but I'm glad everyone's doing okay. Good. Yeah. And we'll talk again more next week about going into 2024, the future of Creatures of the Night. So I kind of talked about that at the top of the broadcast. Because there's just, I have to change gears. It's going to be, focused a lot on Paranormal Endeavor stuff going forward.
And with my schedule,
Right.
I get off
She's missing out
on.
a lot because she's still sleeping, and I'd much rather her catch her sleep instead of get up an hour and a half early to do this. So there's that. There's several factors, and I don't want to sneak peek her too much right now, but we'll go into that more next week. So investigation wise, I guess your thoughts, your takeaway. You have any? I mean, you mentioned a little. I mean, we had some funnies. We had some funny moments. Kelvin, of course, goes by Boonga. Had some of his Kelvinisms where he get him
Yes,
talking about
yes.
something, and he just goes off on a tangent, very deep about something, and that was funny.
Yeah, and then I called him grounded, and he goes, "Of course I'm grounded. I'm already set go." I'm just like,
Oh
that was
yes,
not
yeah. He
grounded.
walked into that one. Zach will have to
Yeah,
remember
well,
that one. He'll probably take that and borrow it next time after he's done like his grounding or earth grounding, and you tell him he's
oh,
grounded for something.
he's done that a couple of times, saying, "Well, I did just ground and stuff like that," but no,
Mm-hmm.
Boomba took it to a different level. Like I was just like, "Okay, you're done."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
But no, all in all, it was a interesting investigation. And they can't all be, no, I don't know. I don't want to really get into too much detail, so
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say they're not all going to be the same. So it was interesting to see a different
Yeah.
um, way of it being handled this time around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
So yeah, because one in
that's just
Minnesota, we had to
vague
do
and
quite a bit more heavy work on the spiritual. This one, not as much, but stay tuned. So.
but it
Uh.
was nice being able to meet everybody. I think David is the only one that I haven't met yet at this point, so
Mm-hmm.
it was nice,
Yeah.
and it gave me a break from work
There you go. Of
ish.
which she's gonna have to go to work tonight after we do finish this and then finish her gaming a little bit, and then she's gonna have to take off. So no rest for the weary. She's gonna be taking off, and I did, being the weather guy, let her know we're under a dense fog advisory right now, so I advised her to allow extra time. So.
Yep, and it's funny. I can make sure each one of my people have a weekend night off, but I can't manage to do that for myself right now.
Yeah.
So,
So
oh yeah, that's another update that we didn't add in.
what?
My management test.
Well, go ahead. You have the floor. Fill that in. Take it out because we're transitioning
Uh,
there. So that's all I really want to say about the investigation, and then you go into that, talk about that, and then we'll end it with our holiday plans or lack of. All right, go ahead.
so I've been doing store manager and training at my store, uh, for the past about 6 weeks or so, and had my test last week, which would have been on creatures had we actually had it. But I did pass my test. I am officially store manager of my particular job thing. It's kind of like a vendor thing, but working within a Meyer versus how other ones kind of traveled to other stores and stuff. We're specifically located in that one location. So I've got a couple of employees under me. I've had a couple weeded out already. We're working on uh, getting ourselves up to par and all that fun stuff. But officially got the job title and found out today just kind of how much fun that can be.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been a lot of lack of sleep over the last several weeks, training for it, making sure I was ready for my test. I passed with flying colors, and so now I can actually get sleep when I'm supposed to get sleep instead of having to stay up and do online classes and
Yay.
study material that I should already have known.
Yay.
So yeah,
Yep, so that's good. But then the downside of being in leadership, she
the
had
downside of
experienced that. So,
yeah, the downside of being the boss is that you're in charge of your people and making sure that they're doing their shit, even if you live 2 hours away and can't physically be there to make sure shit's getting done.
mm-hmm. So
So
not just in charge of yourself, responsible for your own stuff, but then you have to, play boss and be boss of every whoever else is under you. So that kind of sucks. That's why one reason I didn't. I'm not striving for moving up the ladder at my with what I do in my day job. I'm content because to me, no matter how many of those prep talks that HR tries to pass down to make us all feel good, I'm not advancing. I'm not looking. That's not my goal. I still look at it as a job and not a career because it's not what I want to do with my life. It's not what I went to school for. It's just to pay the bills. That's the honest truth. That's all it is for me.
yeah, for me, it's I've worked in retail for several years, so this actually gives me a good step. And if I do decide something different where I could have a stay-at-home job, um, even if it's still marketed towards retail type situation, at least, this is a step in that tier. I didn't go to school for anything, so I'm not necessarily worried about
Not
my
missing much.
education. Yeah, my education being uh, not fully, what's the word, utilized. Here we go. So, yeah, my education is years of experience. But yeah, so uh, if you ever decide that you're going to be big boss man, big boss lady, uh, especially starting out, unless you really, really know your people and all that, trust but verify.
Mm-hmm.
So, more or less, one of my employees did not submit some things that she does weekly. She has weekly since I've known her, which is back in February. And it caused our entire region to drop in our numbers. So not only was it bad for me and my store, it was bad for our entire portion of the company. So yeah, it was a big no-no, and I got in a lot of trouble for that one. So take that lesson, run with it. Always trust but verify. I think my
uh,
boss would be very happy to hear me say
all
that.
right. Zach says, yes, I'm grounded, sitting on the ground, all wrapped up, a Christmas ribbon. LOL. Um, anything more about your story?
Not work wise.
Not work wise? Okay. Other thing that you might want to add then, as we're kind of segueing into it, the reptile thing that we mentioned, she did get a new baby since I think since we had our creatures. So you could talk about your new baby.
I have a new fancy snow leopard gecko that will be rooming with Zelda once it's big enough. It's still too early to say whether it's a male or female. Um, Kind of hoping it's a male, especially seeing how he or she is the polar opposite of Zelda. Zelda is a very shy thing where she stays in her little hidey holes, and this one is not afraid to not only be seen but make themselves very very known. And when I brought it home, it was trying to run away.
I like when that time comes.
Mine's still reloading.
Okay. So,
Okay,
uh,
there it goes. I was just making sure that it was reconnected on the opposite end.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, so If it's a girl, its name's gonna be Medley. If it's a boy, its name's gonna be Link. So
There you
we'll
go.
find out down the road when it's big enough where I can have him tell me if it's a boy or girl because I suck at that shit.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So it's a cute little thing. Comes out and it eats immediately right out of your little fingers or the tongs or whatever when you feed it the little roaches. It's nice. It's already going through a shedding process, so I'm trying to make sure it has humidity to help with that. But yeah.
Speaking of, I'll probably have to make sure that that's ready to go before I leave tonight because
Yeah.
it was completely dry. And with that heat lamp, I see it drying out quicker than
Yeah.
not.
So all right, those in the chat, can you hear us still? Let us know. I mean, it's showing that it's live again. It's connected. I don't know what that little blip was. We usually don't have very many issues with this or creatures, but you never know.
Well, playing it on my end, I can hear us.
Mm-hmm. Um. So with that said, then plans for the holidays. Those who know me.
Hold on
Oh, go ahead. What?
before you. There was one other creature update that you were gonna do.
I'll just I'll brush over it real quick because it's the bad news. No, it lost the soft shell turtle, the newest edition that it got literally like 2 months
Not
ago.
not the newest because the newest is the albino.
Well, the newest of the soft shell turtles. I'm talking about. We did not lose Jackson, who's the big Florida soft shell that I have in a tank. That's what I'm trying to convey. We lost the different one, so it just
That's
live one
JJ.
day, dead the next. So that's it didn't even really have official name. I need to. We called it something, but I need to get in there and actually just. I'm gonna put name plaques on the ones that are still nameless. Well, and all of them actually doesn't matter if they have names or not. So we have it just put on there in a nice little way, almost like you see in zoos. Almost it'd be kind of cutesy like that. Hey, I'm Dust Devil. Don't tap on the glass. You know, little things like that around there. I plan to do that. But yeah, so that's all my only story about it. But that's it. It happens. Shit happens. You know. Holiday plans or lack of. Knowing me, I don't do anything for Christmas. We're wrapping up Gothmas here at the mansion one more week and a little more than a week, but so we start getting kind of tearing down some of the extra decor and removing it, including the
I protest that,
man-eating
but
lawnmower in the front, and the Gothmas trees, the grand staircase, banister, lighting, um, that stuff. So, yeah, it's hard to believe. 3 months went by pretty quickly, but it's meant to start ahead of Halloween and start definitely ahead of Christmas, the normie, as I call it, normie holiday, and then it's going to go past December 25th. So, in my eyes, it outlives Christmas, survives longer by a week, and then it will just kind of go away. So, yeah, our next week's creatures then will be our last Gothmas one too. So there's that. Yeah, tear. I know, right? Um.
I'm gonna miss
Meanwhile,
the purple tree.
yeah. Meanwhile, though, she does stuff for Christmas still. So what's your plans looking like here? You sound so happy.
Ah, yeah. Not gonna lie. Um, if it weren't for my kids, I would seriously say fuck the holidays. I've
Mm,
just the last couple of years, I just have not had that Christmassy feel. It's turned into uh kind of seeing it as not what it's meant for, like spending time with the family and stuff like that. It's turned into a whole nother ordeal. Luckily, my kids are not spoiled brats and they're grateful for whatever they get. Well, and this year it's mainly going to be spending time with me with a couple of presents that they've already picked out themselves. Oh, crap. I got to check my trunk because it rained today and that stuff's in my trunk.
uh, okay.
Shit. Uh, sorry, side note, my truck leaks and I don't want it getting ruined. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna be getting up at the ass crack of dawn on Christmas Day and driving to Indiana, picking up my kids, taking them to my brothers. and then doing some Christmas stuff there, and then staying overnight in Indiana with them. My oldest has agreed to actually stay at the hotel with me instead of making me drive her back to her dad's. She doesn't really care for staying at hotels, so every week when I go, she doesn't really stay with us. I pick her up, we go to dinner, we hang out for a bit, and then I drop her off at her dad's. My youngest, on the other hand, stays with me the entire time. Um, so she agreed because I told her that's the one thing that I want for Christmas is for her to actually stay and spend time. So she's agreed to that. So I'll get to have my kids and have my time with them, take them swimming because the hotel that we stay at has a pool. God help me, it's got one of those like climb up the side of the pools kind of things, not like the gradual you step down into the water things. So that's fun for my foot, but
Mm,
at least, my kids will get to have fun. I get my time with them, so it should be a good thing. I could probably do without the family aspect of it, honestly, but
mm-hmm.
it is what it is.
Yeah. So you don't work tomorrow night overnight then?
I do.
Then why? My question is because those of you know
Wait,
the geography of
tomorrow
it.
night's Christmas Eve.
Tomorrow's Christmas
No,
Eve. So why would you be coming back here just to get up early to leave
today's
Christmas morning?
because today's the 22nd. Tomorrow's the 23rd.
Right.
So I work into Christmas Eve. I'm off Christmas Eve night and off Christmas Day.
So you're not coming back home tomorrow, is what I'm getting
I
at.
will come home tomorrow. I'll be leaving at like 4 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Day. Tomorrow is not Christmas Eve, it's the next day.
Well, right, but what I'm getting at would be if you're working tomorrow night, that's going into Christmas Eve when you're off, Christmas Eve morning. So instead of coming
I'm
back
not driving
here,
to I'm not driving to Indiana on Christmas Eve because then I would have to pay for 2 nights of a hotel.
okay. So I guess my question then is, so Christmas Eve,
I'll be home.
so you have that off. You took that off.
The store is closed. I have no choice but to take it off.
Well, depending on when you went in, I don't know when overnight, because overnight graveyard shifts can be different. Sometimes they might work and then they have a cutoff time. I don't know.
They close at 7.
The day
The
before.
store closes at 7 on Christmas Eve.
Oh, okay.
So,
Okay. Because you get what I'm
there's
getting
no
at. It just didn't make any sense when I was hearing it. It was like for you to. Because geographically, for those of you who don't know, she's actually about well, a little shy of halfway, but about closer to the Indiana destination from her work than here from the mansion. And so it just sounded kind of weird at first. It's like, because she gets off, she doesn't get home until anywhere between 8 and 11 and in the morning, and so it just seemed like, and then she has to leave at the ass crack of dawn, so it seemed like she was coming back here just to turn around and go back to that's the way. That's why I was like, hold up, this doesn't sound right. Okay.
Yep, nope. If it were how I originally wanted to plan it, yes, I would have been leaving from work to go to Indiana.
That would have made sense.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, well, that did not work for my kids' plans with their dad.
Mm,
So I had to adjust. Hence why my stress levels with him were high the last couple
right.
days. To the point where even Eric said that I was being kind of a bitch.
Well,
It's like I can't always be sunshine and rainbows.
I just said you weren't doing too good. You're just kind of in a grumpy mood, but
Yeah, well, deal with my kids' dad with holiday time, and he's making it sound like I can't have my kids at all. Yeah, it'll put me in a grumpy mood. Luckily,
mm-hmm.
we are able to get something worked out, but he forgot
So
that,
yeah,
and I'd talked to him physically the prior week about me taking the girls. Um, yeah, to be fair, he had surgery on his head that day to remove some um, benign cysts. So I guess I can't necessarily blame him for his lack of memory
I
because he
thought
had
you were
other
gonna
shit going
I
on
thought you were gonna say
at
to
the same
remove
time.
some dead brain cells. I was like, oh. Zing. Kidding.
Well, those things might have contained some of his brain cells, so I don't know.
That's what
But
they always
yeah,
used to call us, like when I do something dumb or whatever. My parents would be like, "Are you brain dead? Are you blockheaded?" That was another common one used too. I think that came from my
no, for
grandma.
him, quite literally blockheaded on that end.
Yeah.
They're like these ginormous cysts. Like one of them was like that big that was like suction to his skull that they had to peel off. I was
Mm-hmm.
like, that's just. I warned you years ago that you should have gotten them removed, and
Mm-hmm.
then one, I guess, got infected, and that's the reason why he ended up getting them all removed.
Yeah.
Tell me why his bill is only like 800 and something dollars without insurance versus my shit that's
Mm-hmm.
up there and oh, I got another bill added, so I'm up to what, 45, almost 47,000.
I don't know something. Yeah, Zach said, hopefully it's
Great.
fun, Sasha. I don't plan on talk to my family for Christmas. I'm being so busy and will bring up stress also. Yep, so that
Yeah,
makes
if
two of
I
us.
had
So
my
me
kids
and
all
him are, yeah, we aren't doing anything really we're not doing family gatherings.
trust me, if I had my way, I wouldn't see my family, but
Yeah,
my kids like to see them and
all right.
I must adhere to my children for that one, but I can suck it up for a couple hours.
All right, so with that said, we're cutting it a little shorter. This again, just because I also have an oil change for my vehicle early in the morning, so I got to get up for that too. Um, get over to her doing a little bit of gaming because that's one of her stress relievers also. So she's like, I can't tell you how much I need a gaming night this week, and she was like, text me
I
before she
said
even
that
got
to him on my
home.
way home.
So we'll do that. But yeah, so stay tuned. Soon, I'm hoping from on the perspective of Paranormal Divers Chapter 9, have a more official promo done on that real soon. On that, so I actually get some actual clips of new footage and stuff from little summaries and stuff over the last year and a half. Really since Chapter 8 ended, so it's been a minute. Um, and then I'm not sure if I'll have the mansion to myself and do something musical, but I might. So stay tuned. Maybe on my music page. Those that follow that already, and Klein Studios Music Production / Orchestra on Facebook. You never know. Sometimes I get a creative whim, and I'll just go down. And a few hours later, boom. So,
I could see you doing a cover of Mr. Grinch.
uh, I don't know if it'll be holiday
Just
related
in
at all, but
yeah, in lieu of the holidays, but it's the Grinch. Come on now.
right.
Out of all the holiday ones, I think I like that one the best.
But
I
anywho,
guess that says something for itself.
maybe. So, yep, a couple of viewers already dropping out as we were just talking about saying goodbye here. So, I'm probably wrap up. Any other things you have to add?
Nope,
Okay.
I'm good.
All right. Hopefully, enjoyed this little short, brief podcast. And those who are doing anything for it, I guess happy holidays to you. Uh, have a good one. Have a fun one. Those with the kids, hopefully Santa visits and all your dreams come true. Let's see here. Then it's probably just as well that he gets them Christmas Eve, so there's less conflict between. I almost don't know if that was a run-on sentence.
No,
Santa got
no,
ran over by a
it's
Krampus too. What?
she was talking about. So it's probably best that we split our time for Christmas. No, Lupita, it was I was gonna have them Christmas Eve night so that I wasn't having to get up so early during the day to drive. But that just didn't work because he's doing his Christmas with them on Christmas Day after doing family ones on Christmas Eve. So, and then my time with them is even getting cut a little bit short because they've got another Christmas on Christmas Day with his girlfriend's family. So it was a thing. It was a very annoying, like I'm ready to pull my hair out and just call it over kind of thing. But got it worked out. So
All right. So from those watching, so have a good one. Plan is right now. See you next week. We'll probably do an ending on it if we do it on Friday night, or if we do Yeah, I'll probably be the Friday night. Last year I did a New Year's Eve 31st stream, but I don't know if that's
Which I'll
necessary.
be off.
Yeah.
I gave myself New Year's Eve off. I said fuck it.
I'll have to decide on that. Oh, it'll be posted if I decide to postpone it to the December 31st night. Or if we do it as normal on the Friday the 29th. Either way. I mean, if we don't do it, if we do it regular on next Friday, then it'll probably be just an extended gaming night for the 31st. Because I don't do anything for New Year's. I don't go out for it. Don't party for it. If anything, I watch the ball drop on and then in New York, and then carry on my way. And then it's like, oh, look at it's midnight here, happy 2024, and then go back to what I'm doing. I mean, I'm very low key with it. It might be good for me to make it. Oh, so your vote is doing 31st?
What?
Um,
No, I'm just saying I'll be off.
no, I'm reading the chat.
Oh.
Well, Zach, we can discuss that once you know more formally, once it gets closer. But yeah, if it's more of a rush and a pinch to get here by Friday night, and we can probably do. Yeah, he's voting the 31st. Okay, that's what I meant. You must not have read that.
Yeah, no, I was behind on the chat.
Okay, so anywho, so we'll wrap it up here. So again, thanks for tuning in to this Creatures of the Night here, and so I guess peace and rock on.
Bye.